Hello, I'm Stephanie McClintock, your representative in the 18th Legislative District. The 2023 session is moving fast. We recently wrapped up several consecutive days of work on the House floor. More than 300 pieces of legislation moved from our chamber to the Senate for further consideration. Likewise, the House received 280 bills from the Senate for deliberation. This is a great time to inform you of the biggest issues facing the legislature, as well as some of the legislation which I've been directly involved in. The police pursuit issue has been a huge topic since the majority party changed the law in 2021 to require probable cause before law enforcement officers could pursue suspected criminals. This year, a bipartisan group of 40 legislators, 20 from each side of the aisle, offered a real solution. House Bill 1363 would have restored the initial pursuit threshold back to reasonable suspicion, instead of the more stringent probable cause. But unfortunately, House Democrat leadership did not allow this legislation to advance to the floor for a vote. House Republicans continued to fight for this bipartisan bill by attempting a procedural motion to bring the bill to the floor, but House Democrats blocked the motion, killing the bill. This is truly heartbreaking for our law enforcement partners, and even more importantly, for our neighborhoods and communities throughout Washington. But there is hope. Senate Bill 5352, a companion bill to House Bill 1363, is alive, so we might still get something passed this year to restore this important tool to our law enforcement partners and make our communities safer. Another hot-button issue in Olympia is the right to keep and bear arms. Highly contentious House Bill 1240 was debated and voted on before the House of Origin cutoff date. This bill passed despite bipartisan opposition. House Bill 1240 would prohibit the manufacture, importation, distribution, sale, or offer for sale of any assault weapon, subject to various exceptions for licensed firearm manufacturers and dealers, and for individuals who inherit an assault weapon. We all want to reduce gun violence, including responsible and law-abiding gun owners. We all want to keep guns out of the hands of people who use them to harm others or themselves. However, due to a shortcoming by leadership on the state level, resulting in more crime and fewer police officers in our communities, people are turning to firearms to protect themselves and their families. Bad policy undermines the public trust. We must restore the public faith by correcting errors from previous legislative sessions and preventing additional policy miscalculations to occur. Additionally, this bill would restrict foundational constitutional rights. We must remember it's important to protect all constitutional rights, not just some of them. We need to work together to address the root causes of violence, including mental illness and substance abuse. Another bill which passed out of the House was one I introduced, House Bill 1301. This bipartisan policy is good, common sense legislation that would greatly benefit the people of Washington looking to apply or renew a professional license. This bill would direct the Department of Licensing to review their processes for professional licensing to make them more efficient for our workforce to get licensed. House Bill 1301 is now in the Senate, where it already received a public hearing. As a member of the House Consumer Protection and Business Committee, I want to highlight House Bill 1424, which would permit a retail pet store in business before July 2021 to sell dogs or cats only if the retail pet store meets certain requirements. This bill was necessary after the abusive nature and conditions of certain animal breeding farms were discovered. This bill also limits all dog breeders to having no more than 50 intact dogs over the age of 6 months at one time, which helps a longtime pet store in my community. I was happy to work with this business owner to ensure his concerns were addressed. House Bill 1424 is now in the Senate. I also serve on the Education Committee, and one of the important policies we discussed this year was House Bill 1044, which is now in the Senate. This legislation would create a supplementary capital grant program for school districts with enrollments of 1,000 students or fewer, which is about half of our districts, for comprehensive modernization or replacement for instructional facilities. There are many disparities between school district facilities across Washington, and the existing model does not work for property-poor communities. This legislation will help communities that have tried and failed to pass bonds by allowing districts with significant facility issues additional tools to address their ongoing difficulties with capital budget funds. Lastly, I want to update you about an ongoing issue in our district. North Dakota-based Knife River Corporation had previously proposed building a concrete crushing plant in North Vancouver, which was met with much opposition by many neighbors who live in the area, including myself. I'm happy to report this business is looking at a more appropriate location that is better suited for a heavy industrial business. This is a good example of a group of people getting together, communicating, reaching out to their county councilors and state representatives, and making their voice heard. Thanks for listening, and please feel free to share your concerns with me. You can contact my office via phone or email. I'm Representative Stephanie McClintock, and it's an honor to serve you.